All right, lovely people out there. Greetings, everyone. You're listening to the Aquila View. I'm your host, Narayan, and we are back again with a yet another interesting episode of the Aquila View. Today, we have with us Team Vantablack from Hyderabad, India. Over the last couple of weeks, we are continuously recording podcasts with teams from different countries, but today we're recording with our first team from South India, who believes in delivering quality by doing the work precisely in order to get some excellent results. In the past, they have nominated and won multiple awards, and that you could definitely check out on their website and their social media. Moving ahead, over the next course of 20 to 25 minutes, we'll be talking to all of these young minds over different aspects of Formula One in schools and their adventurous journey till here. So, before wasting any time further, let's get into the podcast. Firstly, welcome everybody to what we call the Apple Love You family. I hope you all have been doing extremely well and healthy seeing the situations that we all are going through right now in India. Before moving actually into the podcast, I'd like to ask you all to please break the ice for us and give us a brief and short introduction about yourselves and what's your role in Team Vanta Black is. We'll be following the sequence, the alphabetical sequence.
Hi, I'm Aprajita. I'm the resource and sponsorship manager of Team Vantablack.
I'm Karun and I am the manufacturing engineering in Vantablack.
Hello, I'm Supradeep and I am the graphic designer of Team Vantablack.
Hi everyone, I'm Ubaid and I'm the team manager and the design engineer for Team Under Black.
Perfect. That was nice and very crisp introduction. Before actually moving on, I'd like to know what exactly the situation of COVID is back there in Hyderabad and what exactly does it look like in terms of the cases coming up and in terms of the lockdown and in terms of the whole situation.
Well, essentially, before the lockdown, the cases were getting really bad. The lockdown has reduced the cases, so hopefully things are getting better. We're keeping our fingers crossed.
Yeah, definitely. So what about the vaccination process? I mean, back here in Indore, we definitely are still facing the appointment issue right now. But what do you think? I mean, what's the situation back there in Hyderabad in terms of COVID vaccination?
Quite a lot of people have started to get vaccinated, and that I'm very happy about. But people are still a little skeptical about the vaccines for some reason. So there's still a long way to go.
Definitely, definitely. Uh, all right. So coming forward, firstly, I'd like to know about how you all guys started your journey in this prestigious competition that we all are part of, and how Vanta Black as a team came into existence, how you all met each other, and how did the team formation look like?
Right, so back in 2019, our school introduced us to Formula One in schools. So we were brought down to the stage and then like shown a video about F1 in schools, and then the introductory video. We were really excited about that, and then after that, I was really interested in engineering and F1. So me and a couple of other uh, classmates, I started Team Black, and that's how it all started. Uh, Initially, we weren't really close together, but right now we're like family. And well, so in 2020 January, we had our first competition. We raced our cars and we got the judging done and all, and we came first runner-ups, and that gave us a lot of confidence for the future competitions. So yeah, that's how we all started.
Definitely. I mean, it's an amazing journey. So, I mean, you guys have a tagline as well, right? So, it would be great that if you could just speak out that and explain what that exactly means.
Okay, so well, Vantablack is one of the darkest materials ever made, which absorbs 99.96% of the of light, and that's how our tagline came into play, absorbing the spotlight, because we wish to absorb the attention, we wish to capture the attention.
All right, that's amazing. My next question is to Mr. Ahmed, because he basically is managing the team, right? So, what do you think is exactly the role of a team manager, and where exactly the role come into, I mean, come into play, and you answer all of these things about the role of team manager, I'd like to know from you that what are exactly true leadership skills that a leader should definitely possess in order to have a successful competition or a successful team.
Yep, sure. So a team manager is basically someone, if you want to have a literal definition of that, is someone who manages the team. He basically gives the team deadlines and tells them to like get the work done at this time, and make sure that work is also being done timely, and creating Jan charts and stuff like that, so that we get our work done at the right time. That's the basic job of a team manager. And what I think a team manager also should do is, motivate his team, because without motivation, there's no work gonna be done. So that's one leadership skill that a leader should really have. I mean, and the leader himself should be really motivated to do that. So because of that, it's a really hard task.
Definitely. So, Beth, what are you exactly doing to keep your team motivated?
To do that, I have to be motivated, which yes, I am. And we when we work, we like basically crack some jokes, not just having like serious discussion about F1. Like you got to make the car right now, stuff like that. We're not very serious about what we're doing, but yeah, we're a good friends, so we try to be as friendly as possible.
Exactly. I mean, definitely working. I mean, if the work that you're doing includes some fun activities, that itself is a motivation, right? And when you love the work that you're doing, I mean, the results are fantastic. So, my next question is to the sponsorship manager, and particularly, what do you think that sponsorship like what's the role of sponsorship in Formula One in schools or the competition, and do you really think that sponsorships play a vital role, or is the backbone of a team, right? And what are you like, what are the strategies that you guys make in order to approach any sponsor? Is it through mutual connections or just cold emailing them? How is it look like?
Well, the role of a sponsorship manager, I think it's in the name, gathering sponsors. And I do believe it plays a very vital role in F1. Not only because we get money and like we get in-kind sponsors and stuff, it's also about just the exposure we're getting and the knowledge we're able to take from this. And the strategies that I use to approach sponsors, we have like mails. We send mails out first. Along with the mails, we have our sponsorship prospectus, which provides an information about the return on investment, and then the packages. We like to have a call with our sponsors, formally introduce them to the team. That's how we approach our sponsors. That's the kind of mindset, the strategies we use.
Definitely. So, well, I mean, as you mentioned about the return of investment, so when you plan the return of investment, so is it just that you planning the ROIs, or is it just the whole team sits down and plans the ROI?
The whole team sits down and plans it out because we need everybody's opinion on this. It's not a very small topic. It's pretty important for the team, right?
So, as you talked about that, once you guys, I mean, attach the sponsorship prospectus in the mail, and when the mail is sent, then probably you had conversations with them. Probably in this phase of COVID, probably Zoom calls or some video conferencing, video calls might be going on, right? So, my next question is sort of relevant to what exactly is going on, right? So, I mean, in India, we definitely are seeing a hybrid model of competition being worked out, same as that is going on in world finals, right? So what's your opinion that how a competition should exactly work out? It should be a totally physical one, because definitely you get a lot of experience, you get to know people, you get to create a network, right? Or it should be the whole thing that is going right now in terms of virtual, where you save a lot of costs and save a lot of logistics. What do you guys think?
Well, to me, I really wanted to have the competition physical because I wanted to gain the experience we would get from this. I wanted to feel that competition feel, if you know what I mean. But Given the current situations, that's not possible. And I'm really grateful for the opportunity I'm getting even in virtual. So I don't really mind either of them. I like both physical and virtual, I guess.
Okay, so if we were to take your opinion, and I mean, there would have been a voting going on at all right. Should it be a physical or online competition? So, what would you have been voting for?
I think I'd vote for physical. Yeah, I really wanted the competition to be physical when I joined.
Okay, so Karan, what do you think?
I think that I think it's better like online because there are many studies and other stuff to do also. So we can perfectly balance that also. And online also is a better way of learning new stuff also. Like Fusion 360 can even ask people from other teams through messaging about like any doubts you have for the 3D modeling and all.
Definitely, definitely. So Pradeep, what's your opinion?
Uh, According to me, just like Karun said, yeah, both of them are okay for me because in offline we can manage studies and as well as do this but in online this a little problem. Sometimes we have a slow net, so while having an important meeting, when the net is slow and you know we might get we might lose points for that. So that's a big problem.
Definitely, I mean, connectivity is a big challenge, right? What do you think?
For me, I'm fine with both of them. See, both physical and online, they have their advantages and disadvantages. So, for example, physically, there's a lot more exposure. You can meet other teams. There are big displays. You get to learn a lot of stuff. And while being online, you also have a lot more time than what you would have physically. Like you just do them online. Like network issues, they're something else. Like we can manage that, but it just saves much more time online. So I'm fine with both of them, but I think I would have really liked a physical competition.
Definitely, because of the environment, right? Definitely. But Obaid, what do you think? I mean, online competition is saving us a lot of resources, right? And probably there's not much load on the sponsorship team or the sponsorship manager, right? So, I mean, if I would have been there, I would definitely have been preferred. I mean, a hybrid of both of these things where we could just deliver our cars and I mean, the model that the world finals are applying, right? So I would have loved that. So what's your opinion on that?
Yeah, right. The nationals are also gonna happen hybrid. So um, just like we're gonna have online as well as races are gonna happen. If there weren't races, then I would be really sad.
Definitely, yeah. Because I mean, Formula One in schools itself is, I mean, when it comes to Formula One in schools, or even the Formula One, the picture that comes to our mind is the race, right? So, and if that probably won't happen, then I mean, there's no thrill and excitement about the competition, right? So, my next question is regarding the digital media and the marketing strategy. So, I mean, I've been following your Instagram and your social media and probably your website, and it looks fabulous, right? And you guys have been doing amazing work keeping up with your social media and posting it everywhere and updating your websites. And that definitely is a big part of, I mean, that definitely takes a lot of time and efforts, right? So I would like to know that what is your exact strategy that you guys follow in order to keep up with your social media and how you align it with your team identity and what's your posting schedule like and how do you get the insights and how do you analyze that all right if the post is working or not and if the strategy is working for you or not.
So yeah, I'm the graphical designer. So the posts and post portfolios are made by me. So according to me, first thing when doing the graphical designing stuff and all comes to mind is the color schemes because each team has each color set. So they have color schemes. So for our team, it's blue, black, red, and white. So whenever I usually use those colors, I mean, I should use only those colors.
So, I mean, probably through colors, you probably maintain that. I mean, through colors, you align with your team identity, right?
Yes.
Awesome. And what's your posting schedule be like? And I mean, how do you analyze that already if the post is working out for you or not?
Our post interval is every week. Like in each week we post one post. So yeah, that's usually it is.
Also, I'd like to add, we try for more quality and not quantity. So, and at the same time, we try to get as much as engagement possible because, as you said, the mode of competition is online. So, uh, everyone is online, and then even our audience is online. So, making engaging stories and posts. So, that's our strategies.
Exactly. That's great to hear. Uh, Coming up to what I mean, I'd like the most important thing that I mean I'd like to ask is that how do you guys start making a car from the scratch, right? Because I mean there are multiple things involved in it, right? So I mean, is there any particular inspiration that you look up for, or is it just the previous designs, or I mean you look up to some previous years cars of Formula One in schools from different countries, I mean, which you think that all right have performed better or have been performing great. So what does that look like?
Yep. So I'm the design engineer and I make the car. So what basically I do is before I start designing anything, I have first analyze how fast the car would go and how the atmosphere would be like the racetrack. How is it gonna be? Is the car gonna touch the sides? How are the sides gonna be? And the resistance it's gonna have on the uh, uh, after I've analyzed all of that, then I come on to designing the car. But yeah, before that, I just research on some aerodynamics, some innovations that I can integrate into our. For example, maybe like many teams use a drop as a design innovation. So something that we also take in. And then before starting designing the car in our software, I first set like golden rules, and these golden rules are supposed to be followed all along the designing of the car. For example, one of our golden rule is to reduce the front area. And if anything comes up that is increasing a innovation, that we're gonna still not consider that design. We're gonna discard it. So those are the goals that we need to follow.
Definitely. So I mean, what are you guys aiming at in terms of time? I mean, are you up to breaking that 1 second barrier?
Definitely, we're trying our best to do that.
Exactly, right. Because I mean, only a few teams are able to do that, and probably if you lie in that probably that category of breaking that 1 second barrier, I mean, it's a great feeling, right? I mean, being a design engineer, it's a great feeling. Right. Moving on with some of the questions that I really wanted to ask you. So, what do you guys think that, I mean, you hold a lot of experience because, I mean, you have participated in last year's regionals. You probably finished that as first runner-ups, and then you probably went to the nationals and you won multiple awards, and you also won the best pit display award in the regional category, if I'm not wrong. Right. So, what do you think is the most important aspect of the Formula One in schools competition? Is it the social media that we all are up to, or is it just the pit display, or the portfolio, or the car design, or the races, or a combination of all of these things that would probably help us to win?
Well, as we can see, there's an online mode of competition this time. So, if you were asking me last year this question, it would have been different. So, um, so yeah, it's online, and we don't have bid displays in real life. Like we're not gonna manufacture them, but obviously we're gonna have to make 3D model of that, but we won't be making that in real life. So if we were making that in real life, then they would be judging on it, like how exactly we made it, if the manufacturing was that good on that thing. So there are differences from physical and online world. So what I think is the most important part is I think the way how we interact with our audience and how we're managing our online assets. That is really important because, well, that is how we gain uh, like fame, and that's how teams get to know us. And other than that, it's everything: portfolio, our innovations, everything.
Exactly right. I mean, everything counts in, right, in order to be crowned as the winner, right? So definitely, right. And we couldn't basically say that, all right, if you have a great pet display or if you have great portfolios, then probably you have higher chances of winning, right? Because probably if you do not have a great pet display, but if you have a great engineered and scrutinized car, and if you win at knockout races, probably that could help you to win the competition, right? Moving on, my next question probably is, how does your school is supporting you guys in order to, I mean, in any terms, right? Because definitely we are at the stage where we are in a stage of learning, right? And probably we need some external help in terms of getting to know that, all right, how things work. So how much is your school supporting, and probably how are you guys probably taking the support of the industry?
Uh, our school helps us in teaching about the Fusion 360, and they're there for us for most of the time. And whatever doubts we have software based, they will clear it for us. So that is one. And they also teach us about aerodynamics, even about that if we have doubts, and we will also send the cars or the 3D model to them so that they can they'll test for us because they have a better computer to test. So yeah.
I'd like to add something. Apart from what Karun said, I think moral support also plays a big role here. I mean, our school is what introduced us to F1, and they've supported us throughout the competition. They motivate us when we need it. They give us time for our competition and for like our classes when we needed it as well. I think that also counts.
Definitely counts in, right? And probably when you mentioned about, I mean, I mean, they let you down with some of the classes, right? So probably that's the biggest part, right? Because back then in our high school, they're pretty much strict about the academic part, and probably, I mean, I just can't figure out or imagine that. All right, they would say that, all right, you can just skip on your some of the classes and probably work on these things, right? So yeah, moving on. Uh, what do you guys think is the I mean, I mean, how do I term it now? Is the mantra in order to succeed, and what is the strategy that is going on behind? Because you are also competing in the nationals right now, right? So, probably, what is your vision, and how are you guys planning ahead, and in order to just nail the competition?
Well, we have weekly meetings. We um, we discuss everything in the meeting. We actually sit down once a week. We plan out tasks, we prioritize our tasks, and then we keep deadlines for it. And then every Sunday, we have a meeting to discuss our progress. We're also planning in the sense that we've already planned out and scheduled our competitions and everything that we'll need to do for the final competition. So I guess that's our strategy. Just prioritize and schedule. That's basically what we do.
That's great, and I mean, probably it should work, right? Because I mean, we definitely make timelines and all of these things, but if you are definitely following that, I mean, probably that could be the best thing that you are contributing in order to just win out the competition, right? Lastly, to conclude the podcast and the wonderful session conversation that we had, what do you guys think that Formula One in schools as a competition has contributed to you personally? Right, there might be some skills, like some might have learned designing, or some might have learned great communication skills. What is it that Formula One in schools as a competition has contributed to your personal assets?
Well, everybody has an individual growth. I think Formula One has helped everyone for something. For me personally, I got more experience in working in a team because I used to do everything myself and now I work with a team. I've started doing a lot more research because of my job in the team now. I guess the prioritizing and scheduling thing has also made me like better in a way.
Definitely. Karun, what do you think?
I think that it did help in many like let's say fusion, like learning fusion and all those stuff.
Okay, so probably you get to know how that software works, and probably working on it probably has contributed uh, to you a lot, right? So
Many of the software programs like CFD and also other also have contributed in like more learning skills. To be honest, yeah.
so Pradeep, I mean, you definitely are a graphic designer, but how have Formula One in schools contributed to some of your skills?
So first of all, in uh, well, back in the way 2019, I was bad at graphic designing, so I wasn't pretty confident until Ubaid, motivated me, made me confident, and then I slowly started to improve in Photoshop, and then I started learning video editing programs such as DaVinci Resolve, and yes, it did help me.
Definitely, that's great, and probably Formula One schools might have given you that opportunity or the platform to showcase your work and enhance your skill, right? So that's great. Ubaid, what have you taken, or what Formula One in schools have given you?
Yep. I must say this is a lifetime of experience. Whatever we're doing here is gonna stay with us in our whole lifetime. The skills that we learned, you know, uh, managing the team, managing time. For me, I think managing the time has been the greatest skill that I've learned from F1 schools. And I think F1 schools has also inspired me to maybe take on an aeronautical engineering later in my studies. So it has been playing a really huge part in my life.
Definitely, and probably that brings you back again to compete again in the competition, right? And that's the best part, I guess. And probably, if I talk about, I mean, personally, it has definitely contributed. I mean, I totally agree on what you all guys said, that it has definitely contributed in learning. I mean, definitely, I learned a lot of skills like in terms of software learnings, right? Right from engineering softwares to some of the graphic designing software, and probably how to manage the time and how to prioritize work, right? So definitely it has played a vital and huge role in my life as well, and probably this is, as Obed said, this is a lifetime of experience, right? So all right, by this we have come to the end of this wonderful episode with all of these amazing people from Hyderabad, representing team Vantablack. Till then, stay tuned to the Aquila View. I'm your host, Narayan, signing off.